Let's play some hockey tonight.
Energetic, passionate, and savvy. Gouche Live. Brought to you by the good people at the Hockey News and Sports Illustrated. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Gouche.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Gouche Live, lunch with Gouche and Friends, and I got a very good friend. We're right here at the bottom line. Want to do a shout out to Wayne and his great staff. We're getting very close to the end of the patio season. He's got a great patio, so make sure you check it out. And on October the 2nd, we will be bringing you Munich. Yes, Munich will be here live at the patio. We are doing Oktoberfest. We know that Oktoberfest has been canceled around the world. So Wayne and I, along with my wife Tony, decided that we will bring Oktoberfest to you. So October the 2nd, if you have time, come down to the bottom line. We've got a patio. We'll have Papa music. We'll have pretzels. We'll have beer. We'll have schnitzel. We'll be doing sauerkraut. Do not miss it. It's going to be fantastic. Of course, this has been brought to you by the good people at the Hockey News and, of course, Sports Illustrated. Listen, I've got a very, very special guest on today. He is not only the original Winnipeg Jets, but I will be skating with this young man on Saturday, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Obviously, he is known as the original Winnipeg Jets, so he's going to give us an insight today about the Jets and what's going on then and what's going on now. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Norm Beaudin.
Good morning, Gouche. Good morning, Jordan. It's good seeing you again and talking to you. It'll be great to be playing with you in a couple days.
Now, I'm not sure if it's me. Norm, I think you're on mute. I don't hear you.
Oh, okay. We're not on.
Can't go without a show without a little bit of technical issues. So we'll just wait for a second here. As we're waiting for Norm, Norm was a Cleveland Baron, Buffalo Bison, played for the Minnesota North Stars, St. Louis Blues, Kansas City Blues. He also played in FC, which is a skate club, they call it, overseas in Swiss. And, of course, he is the original Jet. We're just having a little technical issue with the sound. Jordan, can you let me know, are you hearing Norm?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? I'm here.
All right, so I do not see or hear Norm.
Oh, I don't see over here.
Okay, he's coming in loud and clear. It's on my part. I will figure that out, guys. Norm, please, I apologize. Obviously, let's talk a little bit about you and your career. And while you're doing that, I will go down and I will make sure that I get to hear you. All right, buddy.
Good morning. It's great to see you again and hear from you. Talking about the Winnipeg Jets, hopefully they will be back to normal this year with Scheifele back and Dubois, who we think should have a great season this year because of the pandemic and the trade last year at the wrong time and the tough time. He didn't seem to ever get on track, and then of course Scheifele being injured in the playoffs, that didn't do too well for the Winnipeg Jets. But I think now with Scheifele back and Dubois, and of course Nate Schmidt, who will definitely help the Winnipeg Jets because he came with high credentials to Vancouver, but it didn't turn out too well in Vancouver. But now I think once he gets a fresh start with the Winnipeg Jets, he'll do fine and he'll help the club. And I think Winnipeg will have a great season, definitely, because the goaltending is superior. So I think that they'll come up with a great season.
All right. Well, obviously, Norm, you would know that. You're the original Winnipeg Jets. You signed before the famous Bobby Hull, obviously, in the WHA days. We're going to talk about that in a second, but I do want to make a couple of comments. I didn't hear you from front, but I do have a couple of points that I would like to make about the Winnipeg Jets. We talked about, obviously, Dubois and, of course, Nate Schmidt not having the season in Vancouver. I want to ask you, you being the consummate professional, you've been around the world, you played in the WHA, you played obviously in the National Hockey League, and you played over in Europe. When a player like Nate Schmidt and Dubois Pierre-Luc Dubois come from different teams with very high expectations, and their season just doesn't go. They don't get off on the right foot. Obviously, this year with COVID and other circumstances, not playing a regular season. Now they're back. Now they're in a proper training camp. They're with the team. They get to experience the team. They get to know the coaching staff. They get to know their surroundings. Is that not a bonus for the Winnipeg Jets that Dubois and Schmidt now have had time to kind of get settled? They're going to go into their first training camp with the Winnipeg Jets, and that should allow them to be comfortable and put on their best season so far.
Well, I would think so because they came to Winnipeg earlier this summer, and of course Dubois came last year. So I think that this year, starting fresh, starting new, and hopefully having fans again, I think that Dubois is going to have a great season because he's got the support of players that can score goals. So Dubois should do well, and then of course Scheifele coming back, it should help their offense, and it should help Dubois tremendously. And Nate Schmidt, I think he's a great hockey player. He comes with great credentials from Vegas and then Vancouver. He had a subpar year, but I think starting fresh, he's gonna have a great year, and he's going to help the Winnipeg Jets as so Dubois. So I'm looking forward to the Jets having making the playoffs and going a long way this year.
And we know it's Ducky, who you are knowing that Dale Hawerchuk plays a big role in Winnipeg still. We're so blessed to have his legacy carry on. I know they've named a street after him. It's just a fantastic situation. Ducky was one of the special guys. I was here for his Hockey Hall of Fame just next door from the Bottom Line. He means so much to that organization. If you don't mind, if you can just give us a quick little story about Ducky and how important he is.
Well, Ducky was, he was a guy that would help anybody. And of course, with the Winnipeg Jets, he had 15 tremendous years. He was leading scorer just about every year. And, he had success in the playoffs. And not only a good hockey player, but a good special person that would give help to any organization. And I know that one year we had a benefit game in Winnipeg, and he came to our rescue. He helped us out tremendously. So people in Winnipeg love him, and he'll never be forgotten, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, that's fantastic. Hey, listen, we've got some comments on the right-hand side. Listen, these type of shows can't operate without great participation from our audience. Of course, I want to do a shout-out to Robert Wine. He's there on every show. Barry Shelley, you are absolutely fantastic. Thank you, Robert Wine. Norm, he lets us know if he's not going to make a show. He lets us know if he's going to be late. He'll even call in on his scooter while he's ordering a coffee at Tim Hortons. We love you, Robert Wine. Listen, I want to do a shout out to Sam Macbeth also. He's been in the hospital. He's saying, enjoying the show from Club Jaravininski on my last day, and I'm assuming that is the hospital that you're at, Sam. We are so looking forward for you getting back on your feet and obviously working with us throughout. And of course, Barry Shelley with you. Love to have you on. He's got a question coming up here. And before we go to the question, thank you, leave it there. I want to say hello to Craig Ehrlich. You haven't been on for a while. Thank you for rejoining us. We missed you, Craig. I know you're excited about the Chicago Blackhawks season, so we'll keep you informed on how they're doing. All right, Barry has a great question. What was it like having Fred Shero, great question, as your coach while you were playing for Buffalo in the AHL, and also having Brad Park? Wow, as a teammate.
Yeah, it was great. Fred Shearer was a special person. He never said too much, but he got the job done. I tell you, we'd come, after the first period, maybe we were down or whatever, and he'd come in and maybe say 2 words, and that was it. And next period, we were out there and leading the game already. So, but Fred, I liked him. He's been successful, in Philadelphia, but with us, I liked Fred Shiro. He was a special person, and like I said, he never said too much, but whenever he came in the dressing room, we paid attention. And of course, playing with Brad Park, one of the greatest defensemen in the NHL for many years. It was a pleasure playing with Brad because, when you got a pass from Brad Park, he'd put it on the tape, and most of the time, and he was a tremendous power play player. So it was enjoyable playing for Fred Shiro and Brad Park. So I'll never forget that playing in Buffalo.
Hey, thanks, Barry, for that great question. I want to ask you a question about Fred Shiro because you hear all these rumors. Was he as crazy as they all said? Like he would whack you with a stick or yell and scream and jump up and down, kick garbage cans. Was he that crazy, or was that just the passion oozing out of him and some people maybe took it in the wrong direction?
Yeah, it was the passion that he had for sure. And we call him the Fog, everybody called him the Fog, and whatever. Like
Why is
I
that?
said,
Why did
whatever.
you call him the Fog?
I don't know, but that's his name. And because when he did come in the dressing room, you didn't know where he was at, So it seemed like he was in the fog half the time in the dressing room. So that's how his name came up in the dressing room. So it was odd, really. Can you hear me?
Sorry, Norm. I think Carrie's frozen.
I'm sorry you had to bring that name up because.
Hey, Norm. I'm sorry about Carrie. Just a couple of technical issues here and there, but
okay.
You kind of just talk more about kind of your experience with kind of the North Stars and now being the Wild. Like how was that transition like for you? Seeing one of your old teams kind of become a new organization.
Well, definitely, and with the North Stars, it was a pleasure playing with him. Jackie Gordon was the coach, and we had Cesar Maniego in the nets, and of course Gump Worsley we had in the nets. So it was great playing with them, and Jude Drouin, and definitely JP Parisi was a great hockey player. He was a tremendous digger and player, and he came to play, and it was great pleasure playing with JP Parisi, and of course Goldsworthy was another big goal scorer with the North Stars, and Billy Harris. So it was a pleasure playing for Jackie Gordon for the short time I was there. So I'll cherish all these moments playing with the North Stars for sure. And I think the Wild that come in, Minneapolis, is a great hockey town. So the Wild are just very, very great hockey team, and they come to play every night. So I enjoy watching the Wild also. So they're very competitive every game and game out.
Hey, listen, I hope I'm back and you hear me. A little bit of a technical issue. We apologize for that. You're watching Gouche Live here at the Bottom Line. Don't forget, you can check us out on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course, Twitter. Hey, listen, Norm, I wanted to continue on with some questions from Barry Shelley and Sam Macbeth. One of them is, Roger Crochet was your goaltender, a teammate. Talk to us about that.
Oh, yeah, it was Roger Crozier. I played with him for, 1 year in Pittsburgh. And, he's a little guy, but he's a tremendous goaltender. And the story about Roger Crozier, Bobby Hull was telling me that, Bobby Hull would come on Roger Crozier with his high shot, and when he'd come in the first time with a high shot, and then the next shot he'd come in with the low shot, because Roger Crozier would flinch every time Bobby Hull would shoot. And, of course, it was no mask at the time, so it had to be scary for Roger Crozier, but very competitive, goaltender. He left us too soon, of course, and but I enjoyed playing with Roger in Pittsburgh. It was great.
Okay, and we've got another question coming in from Sam. How was the experience playing with the Winnipeg Jets in the WHA? How was it different with your time in the NHL? Of course, we've had this question before, and I know you're going to enlighten us on. In 1972, you signed your contract, and that is 50 years. So tell us the difference between the WHA Winnipeg Jets and obviously when you played in the NHL and where they are today.
Well, of course, playing with Winnipeg, the first year I came into Winnipeg, Bobby Hull came into the picture. Of course, that enabled me to play with Bobby Hull, and that changed the whole picture perspective, because playing with Bobby Hull was the ultimate in hockey. I think every player that played in the NHL would have liked to play with Bobby Hull, because all you had to do is make sure that you got the puck for Bobby, and forechecked hard and let him loose. And when he got loose, I tell you, he had the goaltenders mesmerized, and it was just a pleasure playing with the Winnipeg Jets. And we had a winning team, and that was the big thing, winning. And the Winnipeg Jets, after the first year, they never looked back, because they were a winning team right for the 7 years, and they won, of course, three AFCO Cups. So it was, again, playing with Bobby. It made the whole, for me, hockey different, because it was enjoyable, and I enjoyed playing with Bobby, because again, give him the puck, where it was going to go. So, and Bobby was the ultimate worker. He never shirked his duty. When you went to practice, Bobby was always working hard. He was one of the hardest workers on the ice. So, you just followed with him, and it helped every player on the ice watching him, play and practice. So, I enjoyed every minute with playing with the Winnipeg Jets. It was a pleasure.
Hey, listen, Norm, talk to us about the Bobby Hull. Do you stay in touch with them? And I know that the 50th anniversary is coming up, 1972. We know about the Summit Series, but a lot of people tend to forget how important 1972 was for the expansion of ice hockey around the world, the opening of the world coming and playing in North America, obviously with the WHA. So first, are you still in contact with Bobby? I know you guys were very good friends and probably still are. And what does that mean with the 50th anniversary? And will he be celebrating it with you?
Yeah, I stay in contact with Bobby. I give him a call every so often. And, especially on his birthday, I give him a call and make sure that he's doing great. And, it's always a pleasure talking to Bob, because, he's such a great character, and he'll acknowledge you every time you call. And of course, playing with him made it that much better. So hopefully that as you were saying, the WHA will be celebrating its 50th reunion next year in October, and we look forward to seeing Bobby at the reunion, because it's going to be a great bash, and especially it's going to be in Whistler, British Columbia. And, I can just probably walk there, as a matter of fact, because it'll be so close. And hopefully we'll get a lot of reaction from the fans throughout the WHA and the NHL, because we'll have, hopefully we might get Gretzky there, and Messier, and, Paul Henderson hopefully will be there, because, Paul Henderson was the goal scorer in that 72 series. So, that's his claim to fame, of course. And then Frank Mahovlich, Dave Keon. We have so many great players that played in the WHA who made the league go. And it'll be a pleasure to see everybody in Whistler, and see the original people that started the league, like Dennis Murphy, who did so many things for the league, and Gary Davidson, who was a big part of the league also, and Bassett, who owned the Toros and the Birmingham Bulls.
Yep.
And of course, the big man of the WHA was the owner of the Winnipeg Jets, Benny Hatkins. You know, he played such a big part in making the league survive.
Yes, and Mr. Hatkins.
You know, a few teams went down, and he had to pick them up. And you got to give Benny Hatkins a lot of credit. And I wish he was still here to see what's going to happen in next year in October. But I look forward to it, and I think everybody is looking forward to going to Whistler and enjoying the reunion.
Well, Norm, I know that you guys are going to be making formal announcements very soon. I'm really excited about flying out to Vancouver this week and to be a part of what you're doing. And of course, your son Greg has just been a master at organizing this. I do want to bring that picture up, Jordan. I apologize. What an amazing picture. I remember being in the Winnipeg Jets, obviously at the Winnipeg Arena. Ralph Borger from Borger Brothers was there. Look at that. That is you with the A, not wearing a helmet. What an amazing picture. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that is a picture of you playing against the Russians.
Well, as a matter of fact, we were in Czechoslovakia, and we were playing.
There you go.
That was our training camp, and we played 2 games against Czechoslovakia, and that's the picture that was came from that. From that arena, and it was great.
Yeah.
Great playing out there and playing against the Czechs. I tell you, they put on a little drill there for us. I tell you, they were a great hockey team. But we managed to, I think, win 1 game out there. But it's a great picture to see in Prague, Czechoslovakia.
Well, Norm, I thought it was the Winnipeg Arena. So you're basically now, for me and the Winnipeg Jets, you're the Liam McGuire of the Winnipeg Jets, because you could pick that up. You could have just said, no, that's a Winnipeg Arena playing the Russians, but you're actually in Prague playing Czechoslovakia. That's unbelievable. Here's a great picture. Look at this team. This is an iconic picture, the Winnipeg Jets. Obviously, we won't go through all of the players there, but certainly what a cast and crew. I think I see Joe Daly there, if I'm not mistaken.
Joe Daly, picture. Rudy Pillis was there, Lyle Moffat was there, Larry Horning, of course. Schoberg was part of, big part of our hockey team.
Schoberg,
yeah, he was a great little general out there, playing on D. So it was fun playing with him, that's for sure. Again, he left us too soon, and
yes, 100%.
There's several players in that picture that left us too soon. But it's good to look at the memories, of course, and the championship memories, which is good.
And great memories at that. All right, Norm, let's. That was a picture from 1974, 1975. I want to thank Jordan for being able to pull up and work with me with this. Of course, I just see very small pictures, so it's tough for me to pick up on some of these things. So, Norm, your eyes are much better than I. So let's get to the fact that you're watching Gooch Live here at the Bottom Line. You can go and see us and connect with us on Apple Music. And you and I, Norm of the age, there's a thing called Spotify. Before this all started, when we went into the pandemic, you can do all these crazy things on the internet.
I'm losing you right now.
But at your age, at 80 years old, you still are very young and dynamic. Tell us the change. Well, there's no question. Do you hear me now?
No, I don't. No. Okay, now I hear you, yeah.
We apologize for the technical issues, cutting in and out. All right, we'll give a break here for a sec. We apologize for some of the issues that we're having with technical things. I know they're working here at the Bottom Line. They're renovating and getting ready for opening up. And obviously, working with you. I've been told that it is my internet. So I'm just going to try one more time with Norm as we wrap this show up. And I promise you next week, we will make sure that our internet's working a little bit better on this side. Norm Beaudin, the original Jet, do you hear me?
Yes, I do right now. Yes. Great.
All right. Final question to you before we get into, obviously, what we're doing together this Saturday and Sunday. Has technology changed that much that here you and I are talking? Of course, a little bit trouble with the with the
Nope.
uh, Wi-Fi, but we've got Spotify, we got Apple Music, we got videos, and here we are. We've got Zoom, we got streaming. What a difference for a guy like you and I to be able to deal with all this technology.
I still can't hear you. I'm losing you again.
All right, Jordan, if you don't mind popping up for a second.
Hey, Gary. Norm?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear now.
Can you hear me, or is it?
Yeah.
Am I breaking up, Jordan? Is that the issue?
You're cutting in and out, so you just have to you might have to repeat yourself a little bit.
All right. Okay, final part. I really apologize to everybody that's listening. We have Norm Beaudin, number 11, the original Winnipeg Jets. I will be in Vancouver this weekend with you, Norm. We're going to be involved with a charity tournament called the Battle for Blood Cancer. Can you talk to us about that? And how excited are you to have me as your winger?
I can't believe we'll be playing on the same ice surface. It's great. I've been wanting to do this a long time because, you've played in Germany. I've played in Switzerland. Of course, I've played all over. So, and you have too. So, and what we're playing for is a great cause. It's called Battle for Blood Cancer Tournament of Hope. So it'll be a pleasure playing with you. And again, the people that have put this together, they put a lot of work into it, and they're trying to raise money for leukemia and lymphoma. So it's going to be a tremendous weekend, and hopefully we can raise as much money as we can possibly raise. And of course, it's for a great cause, and it's going to help a lot of people, I'm sure. So, and of course, I just want to let you know that I had cancer, prostate cancer, and I got ahead of it. Instead of waiting too long, I went to the doctor, and they cured me. So I was operated on, and the doctor told me I won't die of cancer. So that's a great thing. So I urge everybody that might think they have cancer or they have a problem to get checked out, because you have to do it early to prevent from succumbing to cancer. So everybody that think they have cancer, get out there and get checked over, because it hits you pretty quick. So again, Greg has done a tremendous amount of work putting our teams together. And of course, Ryan O'Quinn, that came from Winnipeg, started this. I met him at we had the BC voting session, and I worked for the voting. And Ryan O'Quinn had a Winnipeg Jets jersey on, so I talked to him. I said, where are you from? He says, Winnipeg. So we started talking. Then he found out I played for the Winnipeg Jets, because he was the younger guy. And this is how this all started. And about a month ago, he called me and he says, "Can you help us with this with cancer?" And I says, anytime if I can do it. And I decided to do it, and I got Greg involved and his teammates, and I was trying to recruit teammates of mine, but they're too old. So they can't make it.
So you, Norm, I'm honored to be a part of this, of course. I know that we have to ask this question. It's going to be Greg that's going to be doing the back checking. And you said your teammates are too old, but I'm 62, and we're going to have just a a blast doing it. Norm, I can't thank you enough. I do want to say that I lost my father to prostate cancer exactly 20 years ago on September the 7th, 2001. So I got to tell you, thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of that day, Saturday, Sunday. Sam, I know you're asking, will it be online? I will be doing some cool stuff while I'm playing with Normie. I may even get one of those helmet things, Go Cam or whatever they call those things, and you and I will have a lot of fun. As we wrap up, look at this great picture of one of the all-time greatest Winnipeg Jets, Mr. Norm Beaudin.
I think I scored on that shot. Anyway,
I don't.
Yeah, thanks.
It was an empty.
Thanks a lot for coming. I appreciate it. I couldn't believe when Greg told me you were coming. I said, "Holy man, this is great!" So thank you. And like I said, you're going to do a tremendous service by playing, and I know that once after about 10 minutes, we'll have that chemistry and we'll get hot. I tell you. With Greg's help, of course, we need some young guys, but we'll be fine.
You never lose this, Normie. You never lose the touch in the hands, and you and I'll be called the sweetness. Hey, listen, thanks, Normie, for being a part of us today. You've been watching us at the Bottom Line Coffee with you, buddy. Thank you for what you do.
Thanks for having me, and I'll talk to you on Friday, probably. I'll see you Friday and on the ice on Saturday. Super. Thank you. See you, Jordan.
You got it. Thanks, bud. Hey, how great was that? I apologize for some of the little technical issues. We'll get that set up. Hey, it's 2021. You're going to have that. The satellites are going to go off. The gods upstairs will be watching us. And they know at the end, they allowed us to talk about this very important event, Battle for Blood Cancer. I am so excited. Norm Beaudin has no idea how excited I am to be on the ice with him. Don't tell him. Shh. I hope he's not in the green room. Hey, listen, thank you for watching us. Don't forget, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can also check us out on Spotify and Apple Music, and always Gouche Live on Facebook. Please support this great cause this weekend, Battle for Blood Cancer. I will be sending posts. I'll be updating you on exactly how Norm, myself, and Greg are doing over the weekend. Thank you for joining us at the Bottom Line.
You've been listening to Gouche Live with your host, Kerry Goulet, better known as The Gooch, brought to you by the Hockey News and Sports Illustrated.